Welcome to Sports Science Insight, the channel where we break down new scientific studies and turn research into practical knowledge for training, recovery, and human performance. Today, we are looking at the article, Quantifying Long-Term Adaptations in Performance Variables in Adolescent Athletes. This study was published in Sports in 2025, by Carron and Dalbo. The question is very practical. How fast do young athletes really get stronger when they start structured resistance training? Most coaches know that beginners improve quickly. But what happens after the first year? Do gains keep rising at the same speed? Or does progress start to slow down? This study followed adolescent male rugby league athletes for 1.5 years, across 2 seasons of structured resistance training. And the main message is simple: the first year changes a lot. But progress slows. And if you want more evidence-based breakdowns on strength training, athlete development, exercise physiology, and sports performance, subscribe to Sports Science Insight. Let's break it down. Most resistance training studies are short. Many last 12 weeks or less. That can be useful, but it mostly shows what happens during the early phase of adaptation. Early gains often come from better technique, improved neural coordination, learning the lifts, and the first wave of muscle adaptation. But real athlete development does not happen in only 12 weeks. It happens across months and years. That is why this study is valuable. Instead of looking at one short training block, the researchers followed athletes for 78 weeks, across 2 full seasons. This gives coaches a more realistic view of long-term development. Short studies show adaptation, long studies show reality, and one key part of that reality is the ceiling effect. As athletes become more trained, progress naturally slows down. That does not always mean the program is failing. It may mean the athlete is moving from beginner gains into a more advanced stage of adaptation. The study included 11 adolescent male rugby league athletes. Their average age was 16.4 years, with a standard deviation of 0.5 years. A very important detail is that these athletes had no previous history of resistance training. So they were not advanced lifters. They were young athletes entering a structured strength and conditioning program for the first time. The study followed them from March 2023 to September 2024. That means the researchers were able to observe what happened across preparation phases, preseason training, competition periods, and repeated testing points. This population matters because many coaches work with young athletes exactly like this. They are talented in sport but still new to the weight room. So this study helps answer a real coaching question. What kind of progress should we expect when untrained adolescent athletes begin structured resistance training? The training program used a standardized, progressive, blocked linear periodization model. In simple terms, the program was structured across the year. It was not random training. The athletes trained through preparation, preseason, in-season, transition, and off-season phases. During preparation and preseason, the athletes completed 3 gym sessions per week. These sessions included an upper body day, a lower body day, and a full body day. They also completed on-field rugby training twice per week. During the in-season phase, the gym volume was reduced to help manage the demands of competition. The goal shifted toward maintaining performance while prioritizing on-field rugby performance. The program also used progressive loading. When athletes could complete the prescribed sets, reps, and load, resistance increased by about 3 to 5% when appropriate. So the key idea is this. This was not just a single training block. It was a structured plan across 2 seasons. The researchers tracked several performance variables. First, they measured body mass. This helped monitor overall physical development across time. Second, they measured maximal strength using the 1 repetition maximum bench press and 1 repetition maximum back squat. Third, they assessed upper body power using the medicine ball throw. Fourth, they measured lower body jump performance using the countermovement jump. Finally, they estimated aerobic capacity using the multi-stage fitness test. Testing occurred at 3 major points in each year: the start of preseason, the end of preseason, and the end of season. This repeated testing structure allowed the researchers to see not only whether athletes improved, but also when improvements happened. That matters for coaches because adaptation is not evenly distributed across the year. Some phases produce large improvements. Other phases are more about maintenance. The first major finding was that body mass increased substantially. At baseline, the athletes averaged 75.6 kilograms. By the end of the study, they averaged 84.4 kilograms. Most of this increase happened during the first 12 months. The authors suggest that lean mass likely contributed to this body mass increase, because strength and upper body power improved at the same time. But we need to be precise. The study measured body mass. It did not directly measure body composition with tools like DXA, MRI, or skinfold assessment. So we should not say with certainty that all of the added mass was muscle. A safer interpretation is this: the athletes gained body mass while also improving bench press, squat, and medicine ball throw performance. That pattern suggests meaningful physical development during the first year of structured training. For young athletes entering the weight room for the first time, the early response can be strong. But this is also where the long-term lesson begins. The first year produces a large response. After that, progress becomes slower. The strength results were very clear. Bench press increased from 81.8 kilograms at baseline to 106.0 kilograms by the end of the study. Back squat increased from 104.1 kilograms to 129.5 kilograms. Those are meaningful improvements, but the timing of those gains matters. The largest strength improvements occurred from the start of preseason to the end of preseason in both years. That makes sense because preseason training emphasized strength development. However, the first year produced larger gains than the second year. For the bench press, the improvement from start to end of preseason was significantly larger in year 1 than in year 2. The same pattern occurred for the back squat. This is the ceiling effect in action. At the beginning, the athlete has more room to improve. As training experience increases, the same type of training may still work, but the rate of progress slows. So the message is not, they stopped adapting. The message is, strength rises fast early, then the ceiling effect appears. The power results were more complex. The medicine ball throw improved from 6.7 meters to 7.2 meters across the study. That suggests upper body power improved. But counter-movement jump height did not change significantly. At first, that might sound disappointing. But the authors raise an important point. The athletes gained nearly 9 kilograms of body mass over the study. When jump height is the outcome, added body mass matters. A heavier athlete has to move more mass upward during the jump. So even if absolute lower body power improved, jump height may not increase much because the athlete is now jumping with a heavier body. This is what we can call a masking effect. The counter-movement jump is useful, but it mainly reflects relative lower body power. If body mass changes a lot, jump height alone may not capture the full picture. The multi-stage fitness test also did not change significantly. So the practical message is this: not every performance test improves the same way. Strength improved strongly. Upper body power improved, but jump height and aerobic fitness did not show significant changes. This is the most important slide for coaches. The study quantified how much of the total adaptation occurred during the first year. For body mass, 84% of the total adaptation occurred in the first 12 months. For bench press, 68% of the strength gain occurred in the first 12 months. For back squat, 65% of the strength gain occurred in the first 12 months. That means the first year carried the majority of the progress. The second year still mattered. But the rate of improvement was smaller. This is important because coaches sometimes respond to slower progress by simply adding more volume, more exercises, or more intensity. But that may not always be the right response. Progress slowing down is normal. It can reflect training age, adaptation history, maturation, and the athlete getting closer to their current ceiling. The practical lesson is simple. Do not panic when year 2 progress slows. Use testing, context, and training history to decide whether the athlete needs more stimulus, better recovery, technical refinement, or simply more time. Progress slowing down is not always a programming failure. So, what can coaches take from this study? First, expect rapid early gains when untrained adolescent athletes begin structured resistance training. The first year can produce major changes in body mass and strength. Second, do not expect the second year to produce the same rate of progress. That is not realistic for many athletes. Third, avoid blindly adding more volume just because progress is slower. More training is not always better training. Fourth, use routine testing. Testing helps coaches compare progress with the athlete's training age and development stage. Fifth, plan long-term. Adolescent athletes need progression, recovery, technique development, and patience. The goal is not just to win the next testing day. The goal is to build a stronger, more durable athlete over several years. The final message is simple. Build the athlete for years, not just for the next testing day. If this video helped you understand long-term strength development in young athletes, subscribe to Sports Science Insight. Here, we analyze new scientific studies and turn them into practical knowledge for athletes, coaches, students, and anyone interested in evidence-based performance. Leave your comment below. When young athletes stop making fast beginner gains, should coaches add more training, or be more patient with long-term development? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.